Welcome students. So today we move on to the next topic in the subject Environmental Engineering 1 Module 3. Today we are going to discuss what are the various types of sedimentation tanks. So we know that sedimentation is a physical process in the treatment of water, and in this process the particles that are present in water are allowed to settle or deposit at the bottom of a tank, which we call as the sedimentation tank or a sedimentation basin, and then the settled particles will be removed and clear water will be sent for further treatment. So like you see in the figure, the water, in this case the water will be filled into the sedimentation tank, and then it will be allowed or detained in the tank for quite some time, and this period of time for which the water is detained in the tank, we call it as a detention period. And later on what happens is the particles will settle to the bottom, which will be further removed, and then the clear water will be sent for the next process. Now coming to the various major zones that are present in the sedimentation tank, which we have already discussed. There are mainly 4 zones, namely the inlet zone, the settling zone, the sludge zone, and the outlet zone. Also we discussed the various types of settling, and also we have seen that in the treatment of water mainly we will be dealing with type 1 settling, that is discrete settling, and then we will also be dealing with type 2 settling, that is hindered settling. So now we'll see what are the factors that affect the sedimentation process. So there are various factors which affect the process of sedimentation, of which the 3 important factors are the velocity of flow, the viscosity of water, and also the size, shape, and the specific gravity of the particles. So velocity of flow means the velocity with which the water will flow into the tank. So that is the horizontal velocity. So we know that it is the horizontal velocity that carries the particles horizontally, and that it depends, the settling of the particles will mainly depend upon the velocity of flow. If the velocity is high, what happens? Water will just keep flowing. So when the velocity is controlled, there is a chance that the particles can settle due to the gravity into the tank, that is to the bottom of the tank. And again, viscosity of water. So if the viscosity of water is high, we know that viscosity is nothing but the resistance to flow. You have already studied this in your fluid mechanics. So it is a property of fluids. So if the viscosity of water is high, what happens? Then that will resist the particles of that are present in the water from settling. So we always prefer water which has low viscosity, because sedimentation will be effective when the viscosity of water is lesser. Similarly, the other factor which affects the sedimentation process are the size, the shape, and the specific gravity of the particles. So we know that larger the size of the particles, more will be the greater will be the velocity with which, or the speed at which the particles will settle. So also it depends upon the shape and also the size of the particles. So more than fine particles, we know that large particles will settle faster. Now, the settling velocity of the particles is usually expressed by the law which we call as the Stokes law. It is given by the expression Vs is equal to g by 18 mu into g minus 1 the whole raised to into d the whole raised to 2. So here again, Vs is the settling velocity which is given, which is usually taken in centimeters per second. G is the acceleration due to gravity, that is 981 centimeters squared per second, and mu is the viscosity of water, which is usually expressed in poise, and it is viscosity of water, we know it is 0.01 poise. And of course G, or capital G, is the specific gravity of the particle, and d is the diameter of the particle, which is again in centimeters. So this expression for Vs is what is used to calculate the settling velocity of the particles. So we'll be working out the problems later on. Once we finish the theory part, we'll move on to the problems. Now coming to the types of sedimentation tanks. So sedimentation tanks are classified into different types, and this is done based on various factors. Firstly, it is classified based on the method or the mode of operation. So based on the mode of operation, it is classified as intermittent or quiescent or fill and draw type tank. And then the second type is the continuous flow type tank. Then based on the shape of the tank, it is classified as circular tank, rectangular tank or hopper bottom tank. And again, based on where it is located, it is classified as primary tank and secondary tank. So we'll see each of these in detail. So coming to the first type, that is a quiescent type or the intermittent type, which is also called as a fill and draw type. So this is a type of sedimentation tank. So in this tank, what we do is, firstly the water will be filled water will be filled into the tank, and then it is allowed to rest for a certain time. So I told you this time is, we call it as a detention time. So during this time for which the water is allowed to rest or settle, the suspended particles will settle down towards the bottom of the collecting tank. And normally a detention period of say 24 hours will be allowed, and at the end of this period, the clear water that is present at the top or in the top layer, that will be drawn out through some outlet valve, and then that will be sent to other processing units. And after this, the tank will be cleaned. Whatever particles that are settled at the bottom will be removed, or it will be cleaned, and again we will fill in the tank with water. So again, unlike the other methods, in this case the cleaning of this tank also might take a couple of hours, say for 6 to 12 hours will be needed for cleaning the tank. So this cycle of operation, we can say on a whole it will take about 30 to 36 hours for one cycle of operation. So normally we will require 3 such units to sustain a constant supply of water for any water supply scheme. So this is the intermittent or the quiescent type. So it is also called as the fill and draw type of sedimentation tank. It is called fill and draw because firstly you will fill the tank, then after the particles are settled, you will draw the water out from the tank, and hence it is called as a fill and draw type tank. And quiescent means that is, it is allowed to rest, or it is in stagnant, the water is kept stagnant and doesn't flow, and hence it is called as a quiescent type. So I hope it is clear. So this is a description of a fill and, so water will be allowed to, it will be stored for around 24 hours. After that it will be discharged. The same thing what I had told you. So the whole action, or one complete action of the sedimentation process, will take about 30 to 40 hours in a fill and draw type of a sedimentation tank. Now coming to the second type, that is a continuous flow type. So in this type there are again 2 types of continuous flow tanks, that is the horizontal flow tank and we have the vertical flow tank. So here the water is not at rest, but only the velocity will be reduced. That is, the water keeps flowing continuously, but the velocity of water will be reduced once it enters the sedimentation tank. So in this case, the basins or the settling tanks are either long rectangular tanks, or it can be circular also in plan. So usually we prefer the rectangular tanks because that will be more effective. So here, as I told you, the water is not allowed to rest, but it will have a slight velocity, and during this flow the suspended particles will settle at the bottom of the tank, and like I told you, it may be either in the horizontal direction or the flow may be in the vertical direction. So this is a continuous flow type sedimentation tank. Now like I told you, the horizontal, it may be either horizontal or vertical. So we'll see what is a horizontal flow type sedimentation tank. So normally it will be rectangular in shape, and rectangular means the length will be usually twice the width, because they have to flow for only if water flows through a longer distance at slow velocity, the particles can completely settle. So the length will be higher, or it will be larger than the width, and in this case the maximum permissible velocity is 0.3 meters per second. So this is a horizontal flow type sedimentation tank. Now coming to the vertical flow type sedimentation tank. So they are actually circular in section. So when it is a rectangular tank, the flow is horizontal, and when the tank is circular in cross section, usually we say it is a vertical flow type sedimentation tank. So in this case, the water takes place, the flow of water will take place in a vertical direction. So here normally a hopper bottom is provided at the bottom of the tank, and this hopper bottom is mainly to remove the sludge from the tank. So that is a vertical flow type sedimentation tank. Now based on the shape, like I told you, we can classify it into rectangular. Usually rectangular tanks are larger in size. Then we have the circular tanks, which are usually small sized or medium sized, and then again there may be square type tanks, but this will be somewhat similar to a rectangular tank, and here the flow will be horizontal. Now coming to a rectangular sedimentation tank, the advantages are that it is very easy to operate, and also we need not do continuous maintenance. The cost of maintenance is also comparatively lesser, and also the capacity of the plants will be large, and mainly these types of tanks are used for municipal as well as industrial applications. And in all, sometimes we also provide baffle walls in the tank. This is mainly to prevent the short circuiting. So this is as you see in the figure, this is a typical rectangular sedimentation tank. Now here I told you, in the case of a circular tank, usually we have a hopper bottom. This the first once we cut a cone, how that the remaining portion, once you cut the upper part of a cone, the remaining portion we call it as a hopper, and this shaped tank we call it as a hopper bottom tank. So this is a typical hopper bottom tank, and in this case the flow of water in the tank will be in a vertical manner. And here the sludge will be collected at the bottom of the hopper, and that will again be disposed or removed by using some pumping method. Now here you can see in the figure, this is a circular sedimentation tank. Here again the removal of sludge is very easy, and also the clarification efficiency is also higher when it comes to a circular sedimentation tank. And this is mainly used for applications where the size of the plant is comparatively lesser, and this is uneconomical when you compare to a rectangular tank. But only advantage is that the clarification efficiency is higher in the case of a circular sedimentation